Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 198, The Infernal Man-Thing. We also read a comic book. My name is Eric.
I go by Jason.
Nice to meet you.
What's up?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing alright. How are you?
I'm excellent.
That's good.
I'm excellent.
That's good.
Yes. Well, you doing excellent?
No.
Oh.
You know me better than that.
Yeah. Oh, I was hoping we were like Bill and Ted. We're both most excellent.
We're never Bill and Ted. Not until we can get us a time-traveling phone booth.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Do they even make those anymore?
Yeah.
Do they?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They call them TARDISes.
TARDISes.
Yeah, but they're only available in England.
Wow. Maybe, some sort of, eBay thing. You could get one over here.
Probably.
Yeah.
Might take a while to ship, though.
Yeah. Yeah. You had problems with... Is that what you ordered, was a TARDIS?
Yeah. Ordered it from England, 2 weeks ago. They said, 10 to 15 business days. It has been well over that. And, the TARDIS has not yet arrived.
It's ironic that a time machine is running late.
Yeah. Well, it's all timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly.
Oh. Is that British slang?
That's a joke for the 3 Doctor Who fans who listen to this show.
Say I did not get it.
Yeah. And it was also a bad joke. I apologize to those 3 Doctor Who fans who are probably too busy watching the new season anyway.
Is the new season good?
The new season just started.
Oh, yeah.
First episode was good. I liked it.
Cool.
Not seen the second episode yet because that just came on last night. I was busy doing drawings.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, well, I guess I wasn't really drawing anything, was I?
You were coloring.
I was coloring. I was designing, laying out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. Getting some sun with your bikini.
Yep.
Laying out by the pool.
Well, it's pleasant out now.
Yeah.
It's not too hot. Still pretty warm. The sun is not super intense, so you're not worried about getting
no burning.
Well, I don't burn because I'm
With that olive.
Awesome.
Yeah, olive complexion.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't. You still get tender. Especially if the intensity of the sun is too much.
I hate that sun.
It's
Gotta get rid of that thing.
It is terrible. Come on, non-Sundays.
Non-Sundays. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm excited. I walked around all day outside and it was nice and cool, actually.
I totally forgot that it's festival weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Festivals abound all over the place.
They're everywhere.
They are. You went to one such.
Yes.
Probably talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah. I haven't been to a festival in years. Used to hit the Italian festival. It was also this past weekend. Used to hit that quite a bit. And went to the popcorn festival a couple times.
Ooh. Who doesn't love popcorn?
I don't.
That's right. That would be weird that you would go there.
Well, there was a point in time where I liked it.
Oh, okay.
And there was also a point in time where it first started and everybody, and by everybody I mean my mom, said, what the hell would there be at a popcorn festival? We have to go check this out.
Right. So maybe, did you go so often? Is that what made you hate popcorn?
No. I only went twice, when, at that point in time.
Right.
But I believe I've mentioned my stint working at a movie theater.
Yeah.
That is where my hatred of popcorn started. And also having to work the popcorn festival for the movie theater.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's the festival is held right on the main strip of Fairfield Road where the movie theater was.
Mm-hmm.
So basically,
Why not show up and represent?
Right. When you think popcorn, most people think movie theaters.
Yeah.
We had a little cart out there that barely worked, and we're mostly ignored by everybody because when you're at a popcorn festival, nobody wants regular popcorn.
Right. Yeah. You want popcorn, chocolate covered popcorn, or
weird popcorn, colored popcorn.
Yeah. Ice cream popcorn sundaes.
I think they actually have that.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Sounds delish.
Wouldn't know. But, yeah, enough of this.
This infernal talking?
Yes, let's talk some infernal other things.
Yes.
Some man things.
Yes. Like the infernal man thing.
Yes. Oh. So, how many man thing jokes can we make?
Oh, probably more than we should.
Okay. I already attempted at least one.
Yeah. Ooh. I'll think of a good one later.
Alright. I mean, it's just too bad that we didn't read the giant size man thing.
Oh, yeah. Or the giant size vagina man thing.
What?
Is that a book?
No.
I'm sure it would be. No. The infernal man thing.
Yep. You've killed the show already.
I try. I always try to kill a show. Trying to help the listener.
So, let's talk about this book. Written by Steve Gerber, drawn by Kevin Nolan. Well, painted by Kevin Nolan.
Yeah.
Apparently, decades in the making.
Yeah. Yeah, written in the 80s?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Turns out that the story is also a sequel to a different story.
Luckily, they're kind enough to reprint it in the back.
Yeah. The very first page of the first issue, they have a letter from the editor, basically, stating what's what. And that, there was a story written in the 70s, in the early Man-Thing series, that I guess was popular.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it
I
as
don't know.
being a classic or anything.
But, so they decided, years later that there should maybe be a sequel. And, so they did it.
Or at least Gerber did it.
Right, well, the editor, organized it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And Steve Gerber wrote it up. They decided it should be a special thing, so they wanted a top-notch artist on it. They got Kevin Nolan.
Good choice.
Yeah. So, I don't know when this was. It just says in the 80s. It doesn't say when it started. And it did not see publication until just 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the third one I think just came out.
A couple weeks.
I think it was last week. Yeah.
So Kevin Nolan is slow, is what we're learning. Because, sadly, Steve Gerber died 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
So he never got to see this printed.
Well, I bet he got to get a look at a bunch
I'm sure
of
he
pages.
saw some pages.
Yeah. He probably knew it was coming along at a snail's pace.
Right.
But, coming along nonetheless.
Right. But yeah, they do print the original story, the Song Cry of the Living Dead Man, in the back of the first and second issues. So, that's good, at least.
Yeah, my only thing was there should have been a warning, hey,
Right.
like in the, because they even have that page where they talk about the prequel, if you will.
Right. They could have thrown in parentheses, reprinted in the back of this issue.
Yeah, because I think we both started reading it. I read the whole entire issue before I realized that it was back there.
I read a good chunk of it before I just happened to, for whatever reason, flip through to the back and saw that it was, there was a reprint story.
Right.
And I was like, what's this? And I looked and saw that it was the story they were referring to in that first page. So I was able to stop what I was doing, and then I decided to read the backups first.
Yeah.
And then go back and read the main story.
Which is the way to go.
Yeah.
Having read it both ways, because I read the entire series before I read the backups.
Right.
And then I read the backups, and then I read the entire series after the backups.
Right.
And I gotta say, it works much better having read the backups.
Seems like a lot of extra work on your part.
I know, right?
Right.
It's my endless dedication to quality.
So when's that gonna show up?
It hasn't manifested physically yet. It's just all sort of milling around in the ether that is my brain. But man, I thought it was awesome. It was really good.
I did not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's talk about the art first.
Okay.
Well, first of all, the covers are by Art Adams, and that man can do no wrong.
That's a bonus, right
That
there.
is a super bonus.
Yeah.
And creatures like Man-Thing were made for Art Adams to draw.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Tons of detail, and it was just amazing. Cartoony, but detailed, which is my favorite combo.
So he's amazing, and the covers look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the interior art is by Kevin Nolan for the main stories.
Yeah.
Kevin Nolan is a special kind of amazing artist. I've been a fan of his ever since I first saw his work. Even when he just does inking, you can tell that Kevin Nolan inked it.
Yeah.
Because he's just got that overpowering style that he just turns everything into his own thing.
Right.
And can turn mediocre art into just awesome.
Right. Oh, I definitely agree.
Sadly, this book didn't have that.
What?
The art is good. The art is very good. I'll do that.
Right.
And it does look like Kevin Nolan.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like the thing that Kevin Nolan does that is so amazing.
Really?
Which is heavy, noodly, crosshatchy inks.
Right.
This doesn't have any ink. It does, but it's all painted, so the detail work on it is minimal. Or, I don't want to say minimal, but
It has a different quality for sure.
it has a very different quality, and it's not what I enjoy when I look at Kevin Nolan's work. So basically, the thing that I absolutely fucking love about Kevin Nolan is entirely missing from this.
Okay, I can see that. I can totally see that. But I think it's some of the best art I've ever seen him do.
Oh, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. It's just not what I like.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be like if your favorite metal band put out an awesome acoustic album.
Right.
You're like, they're really good at this thing that I don't want to hear them do.
Right.
But yeah, because Kevin Nolan, he's a master. Like, that's why he's primarily an inker, probably, because he's a master.
Well, and also, he's apparently really slow.
Yeah. Well, it only took him a decade to draw each issue.
Yeah.
But, he's a master of inking and, black and white, making that mood and that setting really work.
And a story like this needs that.
I don't know. I don't know. I kind of disagree because the story was so crazy and involved so much mental divergency that I thought it was perfect with all the cartoon colors and.
Oh, it needs that mood so that when the cartoon creatures show up, that there's a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
But the whole story is done that way, so there's not that much difference between the two. There's no juxtaposition.
Okay, well, let's talk about the story so people know what we're talking about.
Okay. You describe it because I'm still not entirely sure exactly what the hell is going on.
Well,
you've read it 4 times.
Yeah. I read it once for each decade that it took to produce it. Well, yeah, basically, in the original story in the 70s, a guy goes to the swamp to kind of write his story, and he has not an altercation, but he meets the main thing and this lady named Sybil, and then everything's happily ever after, him and Sybil. But then, this one is a little darker, where it starts out he's going back there, but he doesn't seem as maniacal. He's traveling there, and he seems pretty,
even.
Yeah, he's not freaking out and sweating, and he's just I've lost my mind, I'm going here to die and to do this last thing. And
well, we should point out that in the original story, it's basically he's completely lost his mind. He is completely insane, and he's trying to write. He's a writer, and he's trying to write this last epic thing
before he dies and goes crazy. Yeah.
And his insanity manifests itself in a physical form and tortures him.
Right.
So at the end of the story, he regains sanity within the span of like 2 panels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of wrapped up a little too neatly,
Right.
I think, the original one.
Which, I mean, it's the 70s. They had limited page counts and all that,
Yeah.
so, But, so this one picks up where he's, decades have passed.
Yeah, just like in our world.
Right. And, I mean, the story is clearly supposed to take place in the 80s, which still, I think the original story was like in the mid-70s when it was published, so
Yeah.
at least 10 years have passed.
Right.
And yeah, so he heads back and to die, basically.
Because, yeah, I mean, he's had these years of, like, peacefulness and whatever, but then something happened that sort of set him over the brink, and he realizes, he's like, okay, well, yeah, it's all fucked up, like, I'm going down there, and I'm just gonna do this last thing, and then my insanity is gonna take over, and I'm gone.
Right.
And this is basically that story of how that happens, and how the man thing plays a role in the whole scenario.
Right. And of course, he coincidentally runs into Sybil again, the woman from the first story.
The one that saved his life the first time.
Right. And yeah, then the Man Thing shows up as well. This is the first Man Thing story I've ever read. So I didn't know a ton about the character.
I think it's the first one I'd read in like 20 years.
Right.
So I'd forgotten, like, yeah, he's basically like, his only power is, he can burn people if he touches them while they're feeling fear.
Right.
And,
those who know fear, burn at the touch of the Man Thing.
That's the good tagline they use for him. But other than that, he's basically just like a shambling mess of
Swamp goo.
Swamp goo, yeah. He doesn't really think or feel things other than when,
others are.
Yeah, because he's like Diana, or Troy from Star Trek The Next Generation.
He's an empath.
He's an empath, yeah.
That may be the nerdiest reference you've ever made.
He's like a less hot, more, less smart Troy.
Right, yeah.
If you can imagine such a mess.
I mean, he's still pretty hot.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I mean, Art Adams draws the covers, and it's hard to go wrong. But no, I actually think that, like the color thing works because, from the very first panel, he's already clearly insane. And so, like, it sort of is like all these vivid colors, like, from his insane mind.
Right, but then when he starts interacting with the real world, and then when the Man Thing is around, like, that needs to be in that very moody, inky atmosphere with the cartoon trees and, Smurf things.
Right.
All
the manifestations from his mind.
Right, to juxtapose against it. And all of the art has a very, like I hate to say homogenous, but, that's kind of what it feels like. And that again, it makes me feel like I'm really downgrading, the talent that Kevin Nolan has. Because, again, he's amazing, and the art in this book is great. But, like you said, it's not what I'm looking for when I see his art.
Yeah.
And I think that the juxtaposition of his normal style with that, not loose, but very more open and colorful style, I think would have worked better with this story.
I could see that working too, but yeah, I mean, just for me, it didn't affect it because it gave the whole thing, like, this sort of, this sort of, I don't know, like, look into this crazy guy's brain, because he was like a cartoon animator, and so, like, everything that he sees, like...
He was a writer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he created these characters, and, like, everything just had this, like, crazy, like, cartoon mixing into reality sort of feel, and it was shocking when I first opened the first issue and saw, like, the way, Nolan drew Man Thing.
Right.
Yeah, like, I was like, whoa, that's weird. Like, that's not what I expected at all. But I thought it was beautiful, and I thought it really worked. Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, yeah, but I totally get it because, like you said, he's got these other strengths that you don't see in here.
Right. I will say this. That guy must have just been fully formed with his abilities. Because, I mean, if you're looking at a story that you or I started drawing in like 1984,
right,
and then finished up last year,
yeah,
there's going to be a definite style change between the first page and the last page.
Yeah, almost any artist, like really.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, like we're who are we? A couple of schlubs
right.
in Dayton, Ohio, but I mean, like even look at
Art Adams.
Yeah, Art Adams or Eric Larson or any of these guys.
Yeah,
yeah, like Kevin.
I mean, even like a month-to-month thing, like there should be almost a difference in quality.
At least on every 5 years.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, this took 30 years to do, and it seamless.
It looks the same, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, he is a special kind of beast. I think he's one of the best, like, just artists who have taken to comics. Like, he's just phenomenal.
Too bad he doesn't do more.
Yeah.
I would definitely love to see him draw more, but again, he's apparently very slow.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he painted this one, so that took more time than usual.
I think they said a page a week is what he was doing, yeah.
I'm sure that may be the same now still, but I'm sure his page rate is much higher.
Right.
So, he could probably afford to do that.
Oh, I wonder if he was still operating under 1980 salary when he was doing this last month. They're like, fucking idiots. Can't believe they got me to do this. He's like, gas prices were 85 cents a gallon when I took this job.
So yeah, alright, so we disagree about the art. I mean, like I said, it's good. The art is really good. Mm-hmm. It's just not what I was looking for.
Right.
And that's on me, I guess.
Oh, totally. 100%. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah. For me, my experience was different.
Yeah. And then there was the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've said this before on the show numerous times. I don't ever want to read or watch any kind of story based on how hard it is to be a creative person.
Right.
Fuck you.
But why is that?
Because, especially if you're making a living at it, yeah, fuck you, you're living the dream. There's nothing hard about it.
I don't know. I'm sure there's things like...
Oh, there's frustrations. Everybody has frustrations, no matter what they do. If it's your dream job, there's always going to be a negative to it.
Right.
But comparatively to everything else in the world, fuck you.
Oh yeah, I mean, it'd be a great job. There's no denying that. But I'm sure, like, especially, like, I don't know about Gerber, like, if he ever did just straight commercial work other than...
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He wrote cartoons. He wrote for G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay.
He is Brian Lazarus in this story.
Well, I knew that, but I didn't know how close it was. Like, he actually wrote G.I. Joe.
Well, he didn't go insane and start manifesting cartoon characters.
You don't know that.
Well, we don't know that for sure. But, I mean, he did create Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
And I like Steve Gerber. I've read other stories about him in the past that I really enjoyed. But not this one, because fuck him.
See, I loved this story.
Yeah, I could give a shit about, people struggling with the creative process. And that is essentially what this book boils down to.
Really? See, I would have thought as an artist you would relate to that more than your average reader.
Yeah, I don't want to read it.
But I mean, like...
Because I gotta deal with it on my own.
But the thing that I thought you would relate to, which I did too, is like any sort of frustration, like, cause the story like takes that and just goes with it and goes in a crazy direction. And like, it's not like a complete mirror of exactly what we would go through because it's this kind of crazy guy that goes off the deep end because of it. Right. And you get to see how it plays out without actually having to experience that for yourself.
Yeah, I don't care. Just on the premise alone, I don't care where it goes, because I don't care.
Right.
Because it's just, at that point, just a whiny crybaby.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
so.
I've had this problem with, what was that movie that we watched, with, Jeremy Davies? Like the French, he was making a movie in France.
CQ?
CQ, yeah. Like, it was that same type of story. Beast, the book we read,
right.
Marion Churchland, and the exact same type of story. I don't care.
Right.
You're an artist. Suck it up.
But don't you think, like, there's other people out there that, you know, like, there's firefighters that see, like, the Rescue Me show and, like, I don't care, suck it up, I do that every day.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all opinions, but...
It is all opinion, but my opinion is I don't want to read that type of thing because I deal with it every day.
Right. But that's so bizarre because this is so crazy and, like, exaggerated and, like, fantastical. And...
Yeah, I just, all I get out of it is just a guy who is in a very privileged position, or at least was.
Well, when he got fired, he lost his job.
No, I'm talking about Steve Gerber.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Brian Lazarus.
Yeah, it's about, cause it's about Steve Gerber, is what this book is.
Yeah.
And it's about, him, finding it hard to write commercially, and then to find something personal in that commercial work. Suck it up.
See, I totally disagree, cause
that's the dream.
But that's, like, I'm sure there's frustration with it, and that's a good outlet for it. Like,
yeah, there is frustration, and an outlet for it is to find something creative to do with it, other than just tell your sad sack story.
But he did.
Stephen King has done this numerous times in numerous books that I can't give a shit about.
Right.
Like practically every other Stephen King story is about some writer that goes insane, and bad things start happening. I don't care.
Huh.
Especially Stephen King, because you're a fucking gazillionaire. Fuck you.
See, I don't know. I thought it was great as far as, like, like, I think if you are frustrated with something in your life, you write about it.
Yeah. Find a different avenue to write that frustration. Don't slam me in the face with your personal problems.
Huh.
You can tell a similar story without having to make the guy him.
Well, it wasn't literally him. I mean,
No.
there's differences, Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, he exaggerated and changed things to make it...
But not enough.
Okay.
Because I'm reading this, it's Steve Gerber.
Right. Huh. Well, see, I didn't know that he was a cartoon writer, so maybe if I would have known...
I've also been watching, like, 90 episodes of G.I. Joe in the past, month,
right.
so I've seen his name pop up more than a few times. Even if I hadn't, it still doesn't matter.
Right. See,
Because writers writing about writers, all they're gonna do is just get off these personal frustrations that ultimately don't matter because they're writers. And their problems are very little. If you're making a living as a writer,
Right.
or if you're an artist making a living as an artist, that's your dream. That's what you wanted to do.
But that's like saying, like, when Conan O'Brien had the job, like, he's living the dream, but then, something really frustrating happened to him, and
Right.
he made jokes about it, and, like, he did skits about it, and,
Sure.
like, that was fun, because, he was, like, he didn't have to change it to...
It was more awkward than fun.
Really? You think?
Yeah. And then eventually he just got to go and do the thing that he still wanted to do in a different venue.
Right.
And
That's probably what Gerber did, though. He eventually got to... I mean, I'm sure he did some other stuff that he was happy, not as frustrated with after, whatever it was that was giving him trouble, whether it was G.I. Joe or Howard the Duck or whatever. But, I don't know, I actually love those kind of stories where, where people take exactly what happened to them and just tweak it a little bit.
I hate that. Well, I don't hate that. I hate that with creative people.
Right.
Like, if he made it about a mechanic who was frustrated, with working on cars, and, like, then became psychotic or whatever,
Right.
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Because that is not him basically yelling at me about how hard his life is.
Right.
It's about Brian the mechanic who can't, tune a carburetor.
But then
thing.
Then there'd be no stories about writers because only writers can write stories.
Good. I never want to read another thing about a writer. I never want another artist to write or draw or do anything about how hard it is to be an artist.
That's the next issue of Edgy Saturn.
I'm pretty sure it is. But the thing is, you're not making a living off of being an artist.
No, not even close.
So that is fine, actually.
Yeah.
When you reach a certain level of success and you start writing about how hard it is to be you, then fuck off.
Well, I wonder though, like, was he, was he, doing pretty well financially by the time he started writing this? I mean, was that...
I'm sure as a comic book writer, he probably was not.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't exactly loaded.
Right. No, but you can make a living.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. But
yeah, like, I mean, someone who's super loaded off of being a writer or an artist, and especially fuck them.
like Pat Lee.
Huh?
Like Pat Lee.
Well, I don't know that he ever did that, but...
well, he ripped off a bunch of people.
He ripped off a bunch of people, so, I mean, that's a whole different
right.
thing to be mad about.
Yeah.
But, like I said, opponent Stephen King, who, like, practically every other story is about writers who have problems. I don't care, because Stephen King doesn't have problems anymore. If the problems that Stephen King has are nothing that you or I could relate to.
But what if that's, inspirational to struggling writers out there? Like, oh, wow, so, my problems don't...
Those people have bigger problems than, being inspired by a Stephen King story will give them. And they need to maybe work on those to get over it.
What? No, I'm saying, like, what if they're like, oh, well, my problems, I thought they were weighing me down and going to keep me from being a professional writer, but,
well, then they're just stupid.
Yeah.
And they are the same people who watch reality shows and jump off cliffs because Wile E. Coyote does. Well, I mean, I don't make any kind of living off of my art or anything like that, and I used to write a lot, and I've never been able to do anything with that, which I've given it up, essentially. And I get upset about it, and I complain about it, but I'm never going to write a full-blown, epic about how hard it is to be me, because no one wants to read that.
Okay. Well, but I mean, there were other elements to the story. Like, what'd you think about, like, the completely self-referential stuff, like, about, like, I really love the idea that Brian Lazarus, this character, creates in his mind, he's got fired from the cartoon he's working on, and he creates this broccoli thing called Mindy, and it's basically become part of his reality, like it's always with him, and he finds out sort of towards the end of the book that it's basically, it wants him to make something creative with it, like give it life. And then so once he's gone, it'll still live on and like, show all of the crazy, elements of his personality, and like it'll live on after he's gone. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a good idea.
Honestly, I stopped caring.
Right.
And I don't know, it was just weird and confusing, at least in the first story, the reprint story.
Mm-hmm.
At least the stuff that was coming out of his head and attacking him was like actual stuff that maybe someone could relate to. Mm-hmm. Like people demanding to be paid for their bills and stuff like that. Yeah. And now we're just getting, cartoon characters hacking him up and just, I don't know, it's just a misstep, I guess.
Really?
I don't know.
Man, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was like, like borderline genius as far as just like mixing reality. I love stuff that's mostly set in reality and like you actually believe that it's a very real thing that could happen, but then there's enough like, bleed over.
I care.
Yeah.
when there are appealing characters who make me want to root for them,
Right.
then I love that kind of stuff too. I love reality bending, mindfuck kind of stories.
Mm-hmm.
I like them about actual people who might actually exist.
But it was about a real person. It was about Steve Gerber.
Yeah, and he's living a fantasy life though. The day you write a G.I. Joe script and get paid for it, you're no longer part of a real reality.
That is a pretty awesome job.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine there's like all kinds of elements that went with it that were frustrating, Right. Because us as kids and like us as like 30-year-old kids basically watching G.I. Joe, it's still super enjoyable, but I'm sure on the other side of it there was a lot of...
Sure. And like I said, like as artists, you and I have frustrations all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do it. There's nothing there to inspire us. We bitch about it practically every other week when we're here drawing with each other on Saturdays.
Right.
I mean, and you know how we get over that? By talking to each other.
Yeah. Not by printing it.
Right.
Of course, we do record it on the podcast and let other people see it.
It's a little different.
Yeah. Because we're not getting paid for the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I see where you're coming from, and I'm not saying like, I think you're wrong or anything, but
Right.
But I just totally love stuff like that, and like to me, it wasn't too heavy-handed or preachy. Like I honestly didn't know that it was about him.
Right.
Like I thought.
I don't think it was preachy, but it was definitely heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there was really anything to preach about in it.
I mean, he's sort of kind of poked, jabbed a little at the, the industries that,
right.
kind of take writers for granted and whatever and mistreat them or whatever. But,
right.
But yeah, I mean, to me, it was just more like, that was just kind of like a meta thing or like, a comment on, like a career instead of just whininess.
Well, let me, I've been watching a lot of 30 Rock lately, which is about writers on a TV show.
Right.
And it's a TV show about writers on a TV show.
By writers.
Right.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's barely about the writers.
Yeah.
It's all about other things that happen to them in wacky sitcom situations.
Right.
And, just joke a minute, rapid fire comedy. And it's never about how hard it is to be them. And every time that it veers into that, it's like, fuck, wait a minute. We're writing for a TV show. Fuck us. And they get it.
Yeah.
And that's sort of maybe what this is lacking.
Okay.
That's sort of, not comedy, but,
Right.
But just the foresight to realize that, maybe because I've had the opportunity to make a living as a writer, maybe I shouldn't be so...
Let's reel it in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But I mean, Man-Thing always has had sort of like that, I guess roots in horror. So
right.
It does feel kind of like one of those Twilight Zone style episodes where
right.
you're following this guy during his final days and, something fucked up and crazy is happening to him. And
Right.
I don't know. I thought it worked.
And maybe another part of it is that, I didn't expect Man-Thing to barely be in it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but again, I guess if he's a shambling, non-thinking, muck monster, then, I guess...
He can't really carry a story.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess you do have to, which makes it a weird character to be so popular for decades.
Yeah, it is, bizarre to me, because I'm trying to think. I bet, though, it was one of those things that after... about 10 years, wasn't even part of a team. I don't think he was in the Champions or the Defenders or anything, was he? But
I know he's part of the Thunderbolts currently.
So they had to have given him
the Dark Avengers.
The Dark Avengers. Yeah. I'm sure eventually, and I'm guessing in the 80s even, they gave him.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
A personality update. Where he wasn't as useless of a main character.
Well, I think I did read somewhere that at one point in time he did speak, but yeah, I don't know. But as he, I guess, is traditionally presented, he's definitely definitely not a standalone character that can seemingly hold his own story.
Right.
And
At least not a full-length story.
Right.
Like that story at the very end, in the third issue, because the first two issues, they reprint half in each one of, the original, Brian Lazar story.
Right.
And then the final one is just like a really old story.
I think it's his first appearance.
Yeah, it's like Roy Thomas and
Jerry Conway.
And the art by Gray Morrow is amazing. Oh my gosh.
Right.
But yeah, and Man Thing's barely in that because it's like his origin.
Right.
And that worked really well because, he's barely in it. But yeah, that art was incredible.
Yeah, it was. I liked that story a lot more than I liked anything else, but at the same time, I also liked that story when I read it in Swamp Thing.
Right, yeah. It was very Swamp Thing-ish. And like, Swamp Thing was first, right?
I think Swamp Thing came first. Or no, I think Man Thing came first. Swamp Thing came shortly after.
No.
All I know is that Len Wein, who wrote the Swamp Thing, originally was roommates with Jerry Conway, who wrote Man Thing.
Oh, wow, really?
And they were both published in the same year, so.
Oh man, that's odd.
I know there's some controversy over, which happened first, and.
Were they, like, did they remain friends after?
I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah. I didn't know
that. But obviously both characters went in completely different directions.
Yeah.
Where Man Thing is, he's more of a, he is more of a Twilight Zone-esque character where he just sort of shuffles in and out of stories.
And the Swamp Thing sort of became more like an Incredible Hulk. I mean, he doesn't change, but he sort of affects different people's lives when they come through his town or whatever.
Well, I think that's more Man Thing still.
Yeah.
Where Swamp Thing, I think, he had a brain and a personality and speech patterns and,
right.
And obviously when Alan Moore came around, turned it into something completely different.
Right.
So, Swamp Thing is more of a character, Man Thing is more of a device.
Yeah. Yeah, he drives the story instead of interacts in the story.
Right. I will say I'm very disappointed that I didn't like this story.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
I wanted to a lot.
Well, maybe I did like it more the second time I read it. Maybe read it the second time. I don't know.
I do own it now, forever and ever.
I know Mavericks will never need them because holy shit! Well, I ordered 10 copies of each, and I'm sure we still have 8 copies of each sitting there, which is really sad.
Yeah, I mean, it is very interesting just for being the piece of history that it is, that it did take 30 years to make, and the writer is no longer alive, and awesome covers.
Yeah.
But I can see why your average comic reader would not be interested
because it didn't have the letters A versus X in the corner, in the top corner. It would have sold out then,
probably,
because we got 10 people with all A versus X, no matter what it is. Yeah, I mean, this is a very strange thing for Marvel. I mean, granted, like you said, it's, it was written decades ago, and, that was probably a more, I don't know. It seemed more like something that they would have published back then.
Right.
But I think it's awesome that Marvel still put it out, after it's finished.
They do occasionally do things like that, I mean, there was that lost Fantastic Four issue that they put out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And, they can occasionally put out, just weird off-the-cuff stuff when they want to.
No.
They just never seem to want to that much. So, I mean, whether I like this story or not, I wanted to support it anyway because it was one of those weird off-the-cuff things.
Yeah.
And I totally want to see Marvel do more of that than more of, endless crossovers.
I definitely enjoyed this more than anything I've read by Marvel in years.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really excited that they put it out.
Yeah. So, I hope that inattention maybe that this book got hopefully doesn't, derail them from maybe attempting. I mean, obviously they're not going to be able to do this again because the situation was just bizarre.
Right.
But, I do hope that occasionally they feel that they can put out, just something weird.
Yeah, a one-off.
Yeah.
Doesn't connect to the
Exactly. Nothing.
Continuity spreading.
Not everything needs to be part of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like Space Punch.
Exactly. Alright, I gotta take a break.
Alright.
So let's do that.
Sounds good.
Don't lose your mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, gutter trash. Can you imagine if we were the musical guests on Saturday Night Live?
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah. It was just like 2 minutes of us talking, I don't know, Justin Bieber or whoever hosts it.
Right.
Justin Bieber would probably be the musical guest.
Right.
Yeah. I knew he was a famous person, but I couldn't remember what he did for a living.
And I think if it was just us talking, by definition, we would not be a musical guest.
Oh, well.
Unless we were playing bongos at the same time.
Sometimes we have like a sing-song quality to our voices.
Do we?
Yeah, I mean, look at the pitches are changing right now. I've always heard British people say, Americans sound like they're singing all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Because you know how like a lot of British people sound American when they sing?
Uh-huh.
I forget if it was Ozzy or somebody I read an interview with, and he said that it always sounded like Americans were just always singing.
Huh.
Because, I don't know, just the way their voices usually carry when they're singing. I don't know.
You know that Ozzy is on a ton of drugs, probably.
Well.
Especially when he probably made that observation originally.
I believe that's never been proven. It's all conjecture.
Conjecture industry?
Yeah. He's may have never tried drugs.
So how's it going?
Not too bad.
Are we cool?
I don't think we can be friends anymore.
Okay. I always fear for our friendship whenever I disagree with you on.
I think that's a good thing. I mean, usually we have varying tastes, but we usually agree on stuff. So I think it's refreshing when sometimes we have different points of view.
Yeah.
But I mean, this time you were just clearly wrong. No, that's actually not what's bothering me. I do have something that's a little, made me a little distraught in the last 24 hours.
Okay, is it me?
No, nothing that you did. Nothing that you did. Well, not that I know of. I mean, who knows?
Okay.
There's a mystery.
A mystery?
Yeah.
Is it, your comics? You've misplaced them again.
No, I found those. I've misplaced something much more valuable.
Your mom?
My doogie.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. Yesterday, I was on my way to work. Doogie now lives with us,
right.
For the listener who doesn't know. He lives with me and my mom. And yesterday I was on my way to work, and Doogie was like, I'm gonna head out too, since you're leaving. And I was like, okay, where are you going? He's like, I'm going downtown to pick up my raw milk. And I was like, oh, cool. Well, I'll see you later. I'll probably see you tonight. He hasn't returned. My mom said, she was there all day yesterday. Huh. He never came back. This morning, he wasn't there. He even said something about going to the festival with me and Kathleen today.
Okay.
He was never there. I didn't call him because he does weird stuff like that sometimes.
Right.
But I was like, I'm sure he'll be back by the time we get back from the corn festival. But yeah, when I came over here, still hadn't showed up.
Huh. Well, I know that there was some sort of concert going on for the past couple of days in downtown.
Right. That's what I was thinking. That
right.
I know he likes live music, so.
Guy Divine Voices was there.
But I mean, he's got raw milk.
Maybe he drank it.
Shared some with Bob Pollard.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, is there only a limited time in which to pick up the raw milk? Or?
Just on Saturday. I mean, it's like.
Okay.
I think he's there like 9 to 5 or something. Like the truck's there. So.
Huh.
So yeah. It's pretty weird.
It's weird. You don't think he went back to Mindy's house, do you?
The fictitious broccoli character?
Yes. Maybe she turned into some sort of giant man-eating tree.
Right.
And, tried to impale him and take over his life.
Huh. Well, that's too bad.
And by that I mean your ex-roommate.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I have no idea what could happen to him, but I mean, he is Doogie. Sometimes he disappears for a day. He's like,
right.
He's kind of like an alley cat. You see him every day for a while, and then all of a sudden you're like, where's Ruffles? And
right.
And like 3 days later, he comes back with a nick on his ear.
Right.
And yeah.
I hope he's okay.
Me too.
I'm sure he is. He's a grown man.
Maybe he got drunk on so much maybe he drinks so much raw milk that he's like, where am I? And he's like wandering around the courthouse square right now without his shoes. That's possible too.
Well, I'm sure things are alright.
Yeah.
But I would hate for, our last episode to be the last episode with him.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I haven't been so distraught that I've actually even called his cell phone.
Right.
So, because, he's Dookie, he does stuff like that. But it's still a little
it
weird.
could be that, he's been living, with you and your mom for a few weeks now. Maybe he just felt the need to just get out for a while and stretch. Not just for, his benefit, maybe for her benefit too.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, your mom's nice and everything, but I'm sure there's a part of her that is like, yeah, another stray.
Right. Yeah. and like you said, I mean, it's not every day that John Legend and Train and Gotta Have Voices are playing live in Dayton. So maybe there's like some big, I don't know what it's even called, the Dayton Festival or something.
Dayton
Heritage or
Respect.
yeah.
Something with an R.
Dayton Rim Jobs.
That's something different.
Oh, because I went to that. And
Yeah, that is not fun. Yeah. Good luck, Doogie.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
I hope you're alive.
Yeah.
So how about you? Anything mysterious this week for you?
Nope.
Let's see. So why didn't you go see Gotta Have Voices play live anyway?
Because I hate them.
Oh yeah. That would be the main reason.
Yeah. Why didn't you go?
I actually love Gotta Have Voices, but I don't know of a band that I would pay. I think it was like $65 for the whole event, and you couldn't just like say like, "Well, I'll give you $25 to go for this hour." Like you had to just buy a weekend pass. So that's a little much for me. Like maybe if I had both days off work and like I was like, "What the hell?"
Right.
But I worked both Friday and Saturday all day, so.
I know our friends Joe and Jenny pretty much spent all weekend there.
Yeah.
With apparently Jenny getting accidentally drunk early today.
Really?
Yeah.
Like she thought she was drinking just regular
I don't know. Yeah.
stuff. I don't know. I'm sure he'll have a story about that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But day drunk is the best drunk.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised that being, friends with the people I was friends with for so many years and roommates with, it wasn't until just a few years ago, I went to one of those festivals, I don't even remember which one it was, I think it was like a Greek festival with a couple of my friends, and I started drinking beers, like at 11 or 12, and by like 2 o'clock I was like, I am drunk!
Yeah.
And the sun is out! This is amazing!
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I think it's only happened to me like 3 times in my life.
Yeah. It's happened to me more than a few times, but, whatever.
Well, the only horrible part is if you're out in the sun, it ends up being a miserable day.
Yeah.
Like that ended up, like even at the Greek festival, it ended up being miserable because, I just got all dried out and felt like I'd been hit with a sledgehammer, but.
I don't think I would ever get drunk outside.
No.
I'm not a fan of outside anyway, so.
Right.
I want to be drunk somewhere safe and cozy.
See, I don't even like getting drunk anymore. I just like having a little buzz.
Oh, I don't like getting drunk at all anymore either, but what I did.
Right.
I especially will not do it outside. Especially not in the summer.
Yeah, not in the summer, buddy. And then not in the winter, because you don't want to pass out in the snowdrift.
Yeah.
So it's just safer to stay inside.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe. When you're getting drunk, kids, make sure you have a buddy and you're inside.
Yep. It really is the best way to get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that in the day, double extra.
Oh, yeah. Skip school.
Yep.
With one of your buddies. Get drunk in the basement. Or the tool shed outside.
Yeah, there's not very much ventilation. It gets hot out there.
No, that's true. Well, maybe in the springtime, maybe fall. Have a box fan in there.
Yeah, maybe. I would say somewhere where there's air conditioning, or at least plenty of ventilation.
Ooh, what if you have a window air conditioning in your tool shed? Like if it's big enough.
Oh, then yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Nobody even knows you're there. You know?
Exactly.
Oh man, perfect.
So, you went to a corn festival.
For my second year running. Kathleen Coyle, my lady friend, is from South Vienna, Ohio, and there's not much there other than like one state route and then an annual corn festival. And so we went there and,
State route.
to the state route, and we accidentally ended up in the corn festival.
Oh, wow.
No, we purposely went there. And the weird thing is, me and her dad all went there. We went to his house and hung out with him and picked him up and took him there. And none of us had a single kernel of corn the entire time we were there.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Well, there was all kinds of cool stuff. Food-wise. Like, I had deep-fried pretzel bites. That they look like the things you'd, get in like those, pretzel bites you'd make in the oven, but they deep-fried them. And
with some sort of corn batter?
probably corn batter. Yeah, probably corn batter. I would guess. And then, give you like cheese to dip it in. Yeah, that was amazing. But yeah, it was just fun. And like, one of Kathleen's friends was there with her, like, 5-year-old daughter. And, we got to watch her ride the little roller coasters and stuff. And that was actually really fun. Cause she was like screaming and, in a good way. Like, whee! So that was actually really cool. And then we got to hear some live gospel music from the tent. It was not awesome actually. but I mean, I like some gospel music, but that one wasn't so good. Yeah, it was a good time though. Cause it wasn't too hot today.
Right, yeah, it was pretty pleasant.
Yeah, it was like a good festival going day.
Yeah. I think that's, I know there's usually like 5 or 6 festivals that all go on like the weekend after Labor Day, so, yeah. It can be a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Cause, sometimes it can still be, feeling the effects of summer.
Right.
Cause it, technically is still summer.
Right. For a couple more weeks.
Yeah. But, sometimes you luck out, like today.
It was good times. And, I mean, it's cool because, I mean, it's free to get in, and there's all kinds of, like, like little raffle. Oh, I just remembered. Oh, shit. Kathleen bought 20 raffle tickets for $5, and then we were supposed to fill her name on them and turn them in before we left, and we never did. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
It was for a good cause. It was for, like, Pee-wee football, so.
That's not a good cause.
Her argument was that when, playing sports is probably still fun because the kids aren't so serious about it.
Yeah, it's not the kids, it's the parents.
Oh yeah, that's what you gotta worry about.
Yeah. Yeah, I do not support, athletics. But that's just me being an art fag, so. And also, annoyed that, apparently football season has already started. And,
oh yeah.
Now, on the Facebooks and the Twitters is everybody, talking about football, and I can't give a shit.
I'm not a fan either.
Yeah.
I, just about every other professional sport I've at one time been a big fan of.
Yeah.
Never football.
I can tolerate football, I just don't like the people who like football.
Oh yeah.
There. But, of all the sports that there are, I'd rather watch, most anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not true.
I'd rather watch fucking Yahtzee than football. Like, I've never liked football.
I wouldn't watch NASCAR.
I'd rather watch NASCAR than football,
Yeah,
honestly.
I can't do that.
I mean, I'd have to be watching it, like Kathleen's dad likes NASCAR.
Right.
And I've watched 2 NASCAR games in my life, and they've both been in the last year at his house.
Right.
And, it was fun because, like, he has comments about some of the drivers, and he knows their personalities and whatever.
Right.
But I couldn't imagine just sitting at home. Like, they would just put me to sleep in, 5 minutes.
I think, I've definitely discovered in the past year or so that, I would probably totally watch, football or, your average non-Cubs baseball game. I could pretty much watch any sport except for NASCAR or golf if I was working at the same time. Drawing or coloring something, just doing something, productive at the same time.
Yeah.
But I cannot wrap my head around people who just sit and watch it.
What? Right.
Yeah.
Just stare at it.
Yeah. Because I can't see the entertainment value.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, when I was a kid, I watched a lot of basketball because I played basketball all the time.
Right.
And, like, I was, like, just, inspired by those people. And I was like, man, they're amazing. And
I will say that I think basketball is a fantastic sport to watch. Mm-hmm. I do like watching basketball.
It's pretty action-packed.
Yeah.
That and hockey. Pretty non-stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, golf, though, man. I love watching golf if I want to take a nap. Because it just knocks me out.
I'm going to say the most boring sport televised in existence is soccer.
Really?
Oh, Christ. You would think that, a sport that involves people running around a field, kicking a ball, and you'd think that maybe it would be a little more action-packed.
Right.
It is not.
Even with
and games can end with nobody scoring.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Even with the possible threat of riots, that doesn't help add a charge to it.
When I was a kid, I was forced to go to a lot of soccer games because, friends of mine were playing soccer and, I was pawned off on their parents to take care of for the day or whatever.
Right.
So that always sucked. But, when I worked at the TV station, I had to run a couple of times, a soccer event on TV. And it was just god awful and would go on forever. And nothing happened.
I don't think I've ever watched soccer.
Do not recommend it.
Never tried.
I don't get why people are into it in other countries as much as they are.
It's huge.
It is. It doesn't make sense. I will say running football games was always pretty pleasant at the TV station.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know. There's just something about it that was kind of relaxing, and even though it's a football game, and there's, you're dependent on, the game actually happening, and then you're running on time and everything like that. It still was relatively clockwork-like in how it operates.
Really?
Yeah, even though they'll pause, the timer, every, yard or fumble or anything,
right.
For minutes on end, and then, take countless commercial breaks. There was always still, a distinct pattern to how it ran, and I could, walk away from it for an hour and it'd be fine.
Yeah, because you'd think with all the timeouts and the randomness, it would keep you on your toes.
No, not really. It was pretty relaxing to run, and I would enjoy them. It's the half times that always bothered me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why we are talking about any of this.
Sports. We're trying to gain a new target audience.
Sure.
The whole sports crowd. Oh, buddy.
So you enjoyed the Corn Festival?
I did. I had a good time.
Well, that's cool that they had rides. I didn't think that they would have rides.
Yeah, they even had that Viking ship thing.
Whoa.
We didn't ride that one. I didn't ride any of them.
Right.
But because the little girl didn't want to get on that one. But
right. Yeah, I would just assume that not a lot of the food-based festivals have rides.
Right.
So, yeah, okay, I can see an appeal to that then.
And it had some cool stuff too. It had your typical carnival things, where you throw darts at balloons. And the squirt gun one was ran by a person that me and Kathleen were trying to figure out if it was a male or a female for an hour. Every time we walked by, we could not, she's betting female. I'm still totally undecided.
Wow.
It was this curly mulleted, smoking, you know, like they had a cigarette on me and they were super hot.
Right.
Person with a microphone that was like, come on up, come on, you know, and like,
Right.
it could have been either one. Like it was such a, it's Pat kind of moment. You know?
Wow.
It was amazing.
And the carnival games, those are fun too.
The carnival games.
Too.
They even had this little tent, that supposedly had pythons and the world's largest rat. And it was only $2 to go inside and look at them, but we ended up not doing it.
Huh.
Which is surprising because we were both kind of like, oh, that's neat. We'll have to do that. And eventually we just never did.
Should have done it.
And then like the other cool thing they had, but it was like $20. You could get your pictures taken in like those old timey Western photo settings. If it would have been like 5 or 10, maybe I would have said, let's do it. Get a little.
Can't imagine any amount of money
that you wouldn't have done it for.
Yeah.
$100. Whatever.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Give me the wallet size too.
No, I mean the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't have paid a penny to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
It just seemed kind of fun.
Alright.
I mean, it wasn't like the ones where you stick your head through a hole and the body's already painted on it. It's like they actually dress you up and like,
Right, yeah.
like there's backgrounds. And
Yeah.
stuff.
It's cosplay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't approve.
That's not cosplay. You're not in character. You're just posing.
But you're putting on a costume.
Yeah.
And you're kind of in character.
I like putting on costumes.
I know, I saw.
Yeah. Did you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you finally saw it.
I did.
Yeah.
I saw it like the day after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So you're not going to dress up for Halloween?
No. I'm a 34-year-old.
I want to try to find a good Halloween party to go to. Because Kathleen wanted to go to one last year and we didn't get to go to one. Yeah. So she wants to dress up and go to a Halloween thing, so I'm going to try to find one this year. If anybody knows of a good Halloween party that you would want to invite a Jason Young and a Kathleen Coyle at least. Maybe an Eric Schonborn. Nope, not an Eric Schonborn. He's saying no. Don't invite him. Let me know.
You're grown-ass people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mostly. Yeah. Physically, yes. Emotionally, mentally, no. Alright. So anything else exciting?
No.
No. Nothing.
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 I'm broke.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Because of comics?
No.
No.
No. Because of rent and gas.
Ah.
Yeah.
It's not as fun as comics.
Nope. I wish I was broke because of comics, because at least then I could talk about something, maybe. Probably would have read something.
Alright.
Yeah, haven't read anything, haven't watched anything, really. Got nothing.
Wow.
Haven't done anything, haven't left the house.
Man. One of those stagnant kind of points and periods, yeah.
No, you mean my entire life?
Oh. Yeah, that's the one. Well, I start my class tomorrow. I teach a class tomorrow. Did I tell you about that?
No.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be teaching an art class at a high school tomorrow.
Wow.
And it's like 8 special needs kids.
Okay.
So it's not like a real high school class where they're gonna be like having sex and smoking crack and
right.
You know.
Yeah, they might.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
They limit it though in the special
Right.
needs class. Yeah, it's just, you have to pull out and then like you can't inhale. There's they have rules.
Right.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited.
What are you teaching?
Well, I mean, it's basically every week, every Monday, I have an hour to do an art project with them, and then I can either do a small one every week or kind of build a big one. Right. But tomorrow's my first one, so I'm gonna just do something small. Like I'm gonna have them like make these name tags that are like they're gonna do like color pencil drawings, and we're gonna cut them out and glue them to magnets for their fridges and name tags. So just to make sure I like know all their names.
Right.
You know? So
What makes you qualified?
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. I have no degree. I think, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of lucked into it. So,
yeah. Well, good luck.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, should be cool. I'm actually really excited about it because this could be something like if I do okay at it and like they like the way I do it, like maybe this time next year I'll do it full time.
Yeah.
So that would be awesome.
What if you hate it?
I can't imagine I would hate it, but I can imagine that it wouldn't be awesome. I actually met all the kids. Like I went to the school last week and met them all, and they're really cool. I mean, they're like some of them are like kind of, like they don't. Like they're not as in tune and like low, they're kind of low functioning, so they're not.
So magic players.
Like magic players, yeah. only like they don't choose to be that way. Like they don't just waste all their time and money on this shitty ass game. But no, it could be challenging, but I'm excited.
All right. Well, good luck to you.
I appreciate that.
I say that with as much sincerity as I can possibly muster.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
You wish me no luck?
I wish you some luck.
Okay.
I told you. I'm conjuring up as much
really
sincerity as I possibly can.
So you'd rather me have to stay at Mavericks?
No.
Okay. Alright. Well, I appreciate the level of sincerity you mustered.
Yeah. It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Could be awesome.
I hope it is for you.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you all about it next time.
Alrighty.
So, I guess I should pick a movie then. Huh?
Probably.
Yeah. How about, this is only one movie, even though it sounds like three. A Woman, a Gun, and a Noodle Shop.
Can I pick The Woman?
See, but you could pick a movie called The Woman, and it could be awesome.
Actually, there is a movie I want to see called The Woman.
Oh, is there really?
Yeah.
Oh, let's just watch that. No, I want to watch all three. I want to watch all three.
Okay.
It's a long movie. A long day, watching three movies.
Okay. I don't have a lot of excitement for this pick.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
But I can't rightly veto it, even though I kind of want to.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know. I just, doesn't have a lot of appeal to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Even though I know exactly the movie that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather probably just watch the original. So, but we'll do this. It's available on Netflix.
Gosh, I hope so.
All right. Well,
if not, we'll just watch Blood Simple.
Okay. Well, yeah. We'll look, and we'll add an addendum if for some reason it does not exist.
Okay.
But for now, Woman, a Gun, and a Noodle Shop.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Check it out, fuckers.
Yeah. Right. All right. Maybe we'll be back. Maybe we won't. To be continued? I don't know why I touched my face like that.
I like that you did.
You can subscribe to Gutter Trash at iTunes or directly at guttertrash.net. If you go to iTunes, please leave us a review. You can email us at eric@guttertrash.net or jason@guttertrash.net. For more info, you can find us on Facebook. Or you can go to seanborn.net or buyerbeware.guttertrash.net. Listen to our sister podcast, League Night, at league.guttertrash.net. Thank you for listening. Until next time.